From the spreads to the lines, who's up, who's down? We're crunching the numbers, calling the plays, talking all sports in a big-time way. Yeah, yeah. Spreadsheet Sports Race. Let's ride.
Welcome back to Spreadsheet Sports. It is February the 12th, and we have 44 NCAA basketball games today. So it should be a fun night. I passed out on a couple of the games, but I was happy to see that um, some of the games that I selected to go a certain way actually did go that way. So that was good to wake up to. Um, So yeah, that was good, and I hope you guys found some value in that as well. Um, and as always, I always like to start out with thanking everybody for coming here to this channel tonight. No, you could have went anywhere else. You might still be going there too, but you added me on to your list, so I'm appreciative of that. So definitely shout out to those that have liked, comment, shared, and subscribed. My little subscriber list is starting to bubble up a little bit. So I'm happy about that. I'll take what little increments that I can get, and I appreciate every one of you. So on tonight, I got another handful of games. We'll run through those, see what they look like. I know we're cutting it down to the wire for time, because some of the games have started, but we're going to run through these games. I'll tell you my perspective on them. As always, feel free to fill up the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are, whether you think I'm right or if I'm wrong, I'm close, I'm far away. All of that is appreciative as well. And shout outs to the advancement to the page, man. We making some progress here. We got some different graphics. The data you can see a little bit clearer or a lot clearer now, and um I'm just happy with the journey. It's been fun. The data's the data, and that's the numbers, but it means nothing if you can't see it while I'm talking about it. So we're working diligently to find the right things um, as we move forward. If anybody has any suggestions or pointers on how to convert the data so that it is more legible for you for a better viewer experience, let me know. Let me know. I'm trying some different options just so I can make the viewer experience a lot better. I know it has its challenges, and I appreciate you for being patient enough as I work on those. But anyway, let's look at what we got for the night and see what we got. Just wanted to kind of just run through some of the games that I think might win. Um, and the reason why I think they may win. It's just a handful. Like I said, it's 44 games, but I grabbed these out, and they seem to have some good entertainment value, um, as well as probably for those that are in the betting world, maybe it has some monetary value as well. And for this section, again, like I said, for entertainment value, we'll talk about who's going to win, what kind of games are going to be possibly competitive, and then as well, um, as you see on the spreadsheet, it literally shows you that it is it just has the spreads there that are available, right? This is not a betting channel, so I'm not telling you to do this, but if you're into that, you might as well see it in live in action while we talk about who could possibly win. But let's run through it. So the list that I have tonight, um, that I like, probably the more favorite games, is going to be Furman, Sanford, and Belmont. Right? This is the three games where we're just like, oh, they're definitely going to win. This is going to be a slam dunk and what have you. I think there still may be some entertainment value, um, because it's not 100% chance that they're going to win, especially this Belmont game. I think that one's going to be a tough competitive game, mainly because Belmont's competitor just is not doing everything the same way or doing things right like Belmont is doing, right? But Belmont is coming into this game with a better record and a winning record. 17-8 is not anything to sneeze at. They do very well on the road. They do very well on the road to the point that they're better on the road than the team they're playing is at home. So how do you can't argue with that, right? Um, for Furman and Sanford, I don't really see I don't see a fight getting put up. I don't think it's a blowout, but I just think we know what it is. I mean, for the bettors that are out there, they got -5.5 for your spread for Furman. They got -4.5 for Sanford. I could see that happening just from the mere fact of how I assume that they're going to dominate. I could be completely wrong, but I assume they're going to dominate in these particular games. The next handful out of this list is going to be three games that I think are going to be competitive, highly competitive. Okay. And that's this Winthrop, Rhode Island, and Stanford. Not Samford, but Stanford. So A10, ACC, Big South, like, I mean, big time conferences. Um, Starting at Winthrop, I just really see them pulling it out. I see Rhode Island pulling it out. Probably they're the more favorite of those three games for me. Stanford, I don't know. I don't know, mainly because they got injuries, but as crazy as it sounds, they got some game time decisions, they got injuries, but I also think that they are going to stay in this and stay competitive. Some of the injuries, though, like the way that they report these injuries, some of them are game time decisions, and it's hard to tell whether there's that strategy from coaching and they want to hold off on letting their opponent know who's going to actually play, or if in fact that there's something going on. Remember, yesterday I talked about these young men and these young women that are playing in these college sports. They actually have a real life. So they may do well. They may be distracted from, whatever's going on campus, what's going on in their life, things of that nature. But um, that's what I think about for those three games. I think it's going to be competitive, but I would lean definitely harder towards Winthrop and Rhode Island. Great entertainment value. You're not going to fall asleep on those, but enjoy those. The last two that I'll talk about for this group is going to be Holy Cross and Providence. Holy Cross and Providence, I'm going to talk about in more detail further on in this show, but I'm just telling you right now, I think that they really got a shot. If you're in the betting world, this is what they call plus cheese. Um, but I'll break that down for you a little bit later on in the episode and tell you guys why I think that. But um, digging a little bit deeper right quick with this Stanford and Georgia Tech game. Georgia Tech has everything down pat. The only thing that's a challenge for Georgia Tech is that they don't win literally at home as good as I would like them to do. You would think they got home field advantage, but for some reason, I think they're going to struggle in this game, and I think that Stanford's going to come in and do what they do, right? Again, both of them have injuries, but Georgia Tech has more injuries. Stanford's coming in as a better rank in the ACC than Georgia Tech. Again, remember, I rank off of performance, not off of wins and losses. Wins and losses mean nothing to me when I'm evaluating the team. So just take that into consideration. But when it comes to the individual categories of like 3-pointers, offensive points, defensive points allowed, those type of things, I'm sticking with the data, okay? Because it's just hard to deny it. Um, Georgia Tech does everything right. They do everything right. And I know that, if you're a Georgia Tech fan, you're like, yeah, whatever, we're going to win this because we're better. But I don't know if it's that easy. But we'll get to see what it is. It started already at 7:13 now, so I'm getting ready to upload this, and then you'll be able to see this for the rest of the game. But Um, I think that's what it's going to be. Now, the Belmont game, mm, we'll see. We'll see with Belmont. Um, enjoy with that particular game. I think we might be in for a decent game, but Belmont is also coming in and they're dominating in regards to the different categories. But at the same time, Belmont does very well in regards to their winning percentage. I know that they're on the road. I know that's a factor. We're hoping that home field advantage will come in for Valparaiso. Did I pronounce that correctly? But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not quite sure. The verdict is not in on that particular game yet, but it's going to be a highly competitive event. I think so, but I think Belmont in the end pulls it out. So we'll move on into the next area where we'll talk a little bit about the spreads and the spread opportunities and who might blow out and who may not be able to blow out and things like that. But we'll jump into that here in the next section. For the spread games, this is what I'm thinking. There's some factors here. I mean, I know I've only done, several shows for you and shared how I look at games, but my blueprint for these particular games is this. I think Rhode Island and I think Furman and I think Bradley are going to win. And I think that they're supposed to win. And I think that not only do they win, but I think they dominate. Not only is that, but they also are winning in the category of on the road or at home, right? They have a great winning percentage. Rhode Island has 15 games under their belt, 15 wins. They got Furman has 18 wins under their belt. Bradley has 19 wins under their belt. They're knocking out all of the categories from 3-point, 3-point assists, rebounds, percentage, shoot, everything. They're doing everything right. Tough conferences, but I think that they will be the team that comes out victorious, and I think that they will definitely push the needle. The Bradley game is the only one I'm really scared of if you're into the whole betting thing. Again, not a betting channel, but if you're into that, I think Bradley is the scariest of these three games that I'm talking about right here because even though they're supposed to win, I don't know if they push past the 8.5 points. They had to score 9 points, 10 points, or that much more. We had a game last night that was like that. I think it was SMU. SMU turned out to not only win but dominate. I think this might be that one as well. I don't see it as an upset unless something really egregious happens, but I think that Bradley pulls it out. If anybody could pull off the spread and like beat their opponent that way, I think that they definitely could. And there's some data that's out there to support that. Maybe I'll go and grab that and add that in as well so you guys can see how many times the team covers the spread. That'll also help you with understanding their habits and what they do and how they do what they do as well. So I might go and get that and share that with the community also. Now, these other two games with spreads, Holy Cross and Youngstown State. They are what we call plus on the spread, right? So they can win the game and cover this plus spread, or the other team has to beat them by more than what you see here. So Holy Cross would have to literally um, be beaten by 5 or more. But if Holy Cross loses by less than 5, for those that don't understand this terminology, then that you would win that particular bet if that's what you're doing. Again, I can't stress enough, not a betting channel, but it's just some food for thought as you look at that particular game. Um, to be honest, if you're looking at the spread on this game, I would also look at the money line. The money line pays much better than the spread does, but the spread is a safer bet for the 4.5 because you still have a chance to win. It's almost like having an insurance there by going that route. But to each his own, knock yourself out however you like it. But Holy Cross is coming into this with a better record than their opponent. They have a losing season so far, 12-13, but it's still better than who they're playing, which is why I'm leaning towards that. The only thing that scares me about Holy Cross is that they are at home and they don't win from a dominant perspective at home. But it's still a game that they can win. So we'll see how things unfold here on these spread games, and whether or not they'll pull it out and dominate, or either for the 2+ cheese games, see if they can turn the tables and at least make it highly competitive. But we'll talk about the dogs in the fight on this next section, because these are two games that I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be a good one. For these last set of games, um, I really don't know what could happen. This is one of those scenarios where you're like, if you're honest with yourself, you're saying, I don't know, right? I'm gonna tell you why, right? Holy Cross, Colgate. Obviously, I've been talking about Holy Cross. I think they can pull it off. A, because they have a better performance right now. B, they're home and they win better at home than Colgate does on the road. Colgate only wins 11% of their games on the road. That's not a good situation. If I'm Colgate, I don't want to come in to where Holy Cross is a better team. They got a better record than me. They have a winning season and they win better at home, and it's at home. It's just not the scenario that I would like to do if I'm Colgate. So, um, even though Colgate may be favored, I would go out on a limb and say Holy Cross. I could be completely wrong because this game is going on right now as we speak. Probably getting ready to wrap up, and I'm gonna go check the numbers and see if I gotta wear egg on my face about that particular perspective. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. I think Holy Cross has the advantage in that game. Now, for Xavier and Providence, this is the Big East. Going with Providence. They win better at home. Xavier sucks on the road. The only thing Xavier has is that they are playing better in all the categories than Providence is. But I think their loss record on the road is going to trump that. No play on words, but I think that trumps that in regards to performance. Not to mention, Providence has a better defense. So on top of winning at home and having a better defense, I think those two things alone are what's going to slow down Xavier, if not stop them. Both of them are dealing with injuries. They're going to have some game time decisions here, but I think that they both are be able to survive the injuries. But I know the marketplace is saying that Xavier is going to win. I'm just not buying it. I think it's Providence. Providence just seems to have the better picture. I mean, are we going with Xavier? Is the market going with Xavier just because they got a better record? Because if that's the case and they lose tonight, then I guess my logic may have some type of merit. But I think that this is why I don't like going just off of the record. Was some people are looking at it like, oh yeah, they're 14-10 against a team that's 11-13. Providence are some losers. They're going to lose. And I think there are a lot of people looking at that. But I think it's going to be from an entertainment value. You're going to get a great game to watch. And then if you are in that world of the betting, then you got yourself a dilemma, because do you go with what the crowd says, or do you go with what the data may be leading you to believe? I'm going to go the data route. Um, but it's a valid argument for someone that says that Xavier is going to win. I understand it. I understand the argument. I just think that there's room for Providence, but we'll see though. I could be right. I could be wrong. But it should still be entertaining at the end of all of the games today. But um, man, these are what we call the dogs. I think these dogs are going to come out hunting tonight, and we'll see what we got for tonight's games. So I hope you enjoy tonight's games, and I hope that I have help with picking out some games worth watching. Um, I think we got ourselves another good night of basketball. I gotta tell you, these young men are like they're definitely making some progress in these programs as we get towards March. The play is a lot more competitive. I'm enjoying the product that I'm seeing from these teams. Um, and I think that's also what makes it so entertaining is because 2 weeks ago, there were a list of teams that we would have thought were A, B, C, D, or E, right? In regards to rankings. And I'm gonna do a show on rankings probably this weekend. I'll do a ranking show where I'm either I'm gonna rank each conference and let you see that. It might be a little bit longer show, maybe 30, 45 minutes where we go through each conference or more. Let's just say we go through 20 conferences because there's 364 teams in the NCAA for men's basketball. Um, but maybe we go through 10 conferences, right? Or the most popular conferences. I still, with the CIAA coming up, I do want to run through that and I want to go through the HBCUs and I want to look and rank those as we get ready for the CIAA. There's going to be some entertainment value in that also. So I look forward to that. Um, but yeah, we're gonna have fun with this, man. I really look forward to doing this. It has its moments of um, being very tedious and exhausting, but it doesn't feel like a job, and so that way I know that I'm still in the right place because I really like what I'm doing. So anyway, thank you guys again for coming to the channel. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate you more than you could ever imagine. You guys have a great night. Hope you guys enjoy the game, and I will see you
Love spreadsheet
tomorrow.
sports, let's ride. Breaking the odds, feeling the vibe. We're all in, no doubts, no fears. This is our house, bring it right here. Yeah, lights